I am very honored to be here today to speak on Black and Palestinian solidarity. I first became conscious of the occupation my junior year in high school after the bombing of Gaza. My grandparents then later explained to me the history behind the occupation and Zionism. The Youth Organizing Institute's Freedom Summer School also informed me about the Israeli occupation. However, when I was in middle school, my granddad had taken a picture of me and my great-grandfather at a Palestinian solidarity rally in Durham. That kind of gave me a time frame of how long these atrocities have been occurring. I met Rania in Raleigh at a Palestinian solidarity rally where she gave me my first kafiyah and told me how the struggles of African Americans and Palestinians are very similar. Later on that year, I was able to hear her speak in Raleigh where she expanded on the connection between Black people and Palestinians. I began to look more into it and saw the major role the United States plays in the occupation while remembering their role in the war on Black America. I say the names Rekia Boyd, Rekia Boyd, Chantel Davis, Chantel Davis, Mike Brown, Mike Brown, Oscar Grant. Those are all victims of police or vigilante violence. After the murder of Trayvon Martin, the Black Lives Matter movement emerged, started by 3 Black women. The movement soon became a resistance movement, not only to police violence, but fighting back against any form of anti-Blackness. It is essential to have a full and clear understanding of what it means when we say Black Lives Matter. It means we want to be free. We want to live without the balefulness of white supremacy and police violence. We want to end to the school-to-prison pipeline and mass incarceration. We want to end to transphobia and homophobia. We want to end to sexism. Ultimately, we want self-determination. We want to be liberated. We want freedom, and we will get it by any means necessary. One of the most amazing aspects of the Black Lives Matter movement is its commitment to ensuring all Black lives matter. It is important to understand we are not free until we are all free. Last month, over 1,500 Black activists gathered at Cleveland State University for the Movement for Black Lives National Conference. It was essential that it be restricted to only Black people. We needed time to strategize, heal, love each other, and figure out how to respond to this racist system. The current atrocities facing our people is a corroboration that there is a war on Black America. In response to the war, there's significant need of rebuilding the Black liberation movement. This was a perfect start. There was a large variety of workshops such as Black Trans Lives Matter, Building a Security Team, 60th Anniversary of Emmett Till's Murder, Centering Black Women and Trans People in the Movement, U.S. Political Prisoners, Jackson Rising, Community Control over Police, members of the Black Panther Party, and many more. Although attendees were provided so many outstanding workshops, half the time folks were in the quad for a mini cipher, drumming and dancing. I mean, you could tell how much this conference was needed. Organizers chanted, "I love being Black. I love being Black." It was also a time period where people were able to connect on a national and international level. Historically, police have brutalized and terrorized our communities, and they continue those unjust acts of violence today. It is mind-blowing to know the same officers oppressing our communities could be the same officers in our schools targeting youth of color and send them down the path of the school-to-prison pipeline. We need counselors, not cops, solutions, not suspensions. As Chris Rock said, all those good cops y'all bring up when you say not all cops are bad seem to never be around when their comrades are killing innocent people. Therefore, it is time to really start protecting ourselves and defending our own communities. Organize security teams, armed and unarmed, to guard, monitor all of our religious, social, political, education institutions, neighborhoods, and homes. Develop strategies to assist our people on how to deal with law enforcement when rights are being violated. Develop campaigns against racism, terrorism, and create immediate response teams. Furthermore, the police state in America is deeply connected to the struggles in Palestine. Many police departments in the U.S. go to Israel to train with the IDF, the Israel Defense Force. The IDF brutally beats and terrorizes the people of Palestine, same as the police force do to Black people in this country. That is another reason why Black people should stand with Palestine. In the fight to overcome oppression, we must look at our allies in this struggle. The fight expands from a civil rights issue to a human rights issue. As we remember the violence that this country has put African descendants through, from the enslavement, Jim Crow, the war on drugs, and mass incarceration, we must realize how our struggles are corresponding to other oppressed people, such as our brothers and sisters in Palestine who are resisting the Israeli occupation that kills thousands of Palestinians. We see the state of Israel reinforcing these inhumane acts of segregation and taking land from indigenous people, restricting Palestinians from going down certain roads, not giving them access to certain buildings, and starving the occupied West Bank with poverty and lack of resources. There's been solidarity between black Africans and African descendants people and Palestinians. The PLO, Palestinian Liberation Organization, showed a great deal of support to Nelson Mandela and the anti-apartheid South Africa movement. They have also been supportive to the Black Liberation Movement, and those movements returned that support. The U.S. government funds over $3 million to the Israeli occupation with our tax dollars and fully understands the racist tactics by the Israeli government, but yet they still fund them. As the United States and Israel continue committing acts of genocide, it is essential we have a resistance movement. As allies in the Palestinian fight for freedom, we must enforce the BDS movement, which stands for boycott, divestment, and sanctions. Boycott range from a lot of things, such as food and other items, but I really want to focus on academic boycotts. Many college campuses across the country welcome IDF soldiers to come speak on their campuses. We must hold these education institutions accountable as students not allow them to be there without a disruption. Another form of resistance in the Black Lives Matter movement is holding presidential candidates accountable. No more business as usual. I want to refer to the Black Lives Matter statement on political affiliation. In the year leading up to the elections, we are committed to holding all candidates for office accountable to the needs and dreams of black people. We embrace a diversity of tactics. So therefore, the tactics used on Bernie Sanders were effective. It really made him put racial justice as one of his major points. Furthermore, the statement made other excellent points. Historically, all political parties have participated in systematic disenfranchisement of black people. Anti-black racism, especially the sanctioned by the state, has resulted in the loss of healthy and thriving black life and well-being. An outstanding source to understand black solidarity in Palestine is by reading the Black Activist Statement of Palestine, signed by Angela Davis, Cornel West, Talib Kweli, the Dream Defenders, Organization for Black Struggle, and Hands Up United, and Black Works for Justice, and hundreds of other states. Our support extends to those living under occupation and siege, Palestinian citizens in Israel, and the 5 million Palestinian refugees exiled in Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and Palestine. The refugees' right to return to their homeland in present-day Israel is the most important aspect of justice for Palestine. Palestinian liberation represents an inherent threat to Zionist state of Israel, a colonial state built on ethnic cleansing, land theft, and denial of Palestinian humanity and sovereignty. While we acknowledge that the apartheid configuration in Israel and Palestine is distinct from what took place in the United States and South Africa, we continue to see connections between the situation of Palestinians and black people. We offer this statement first and foremost to Palestinians whose suffering does not go unnoticed, whose resistance and resilience under racism and colonialism inspires us. It is to Palestinians, as well as the Israel and U.S. government, that we declare our commitment to working through cultural, economic, and political means to ensure Palestinian liberation at the same time as we work towards our own. As we resist, I want to remember the late Julian Bond. He said, "Good things don't come to those who wait, they come to those who agitate." So as we resist, let's remember to agitate and not wait. Black folks and Palestinians both want self-determination, want the right to own our land, own our stores, and the end to colonialism, white supremacy, and racist governments. We want to be free, and we will get free by any means necessary. Thank you.